on the scoreboard with his first point. Let's see how he gets on in this match. Kyron's in that position, Dom, where he's worked really hard in one group, got very close, hasn't won it, and he's sort of starting again. So he's in a different mindset, I guess, to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronnie's coming in fresh, Kyron is starting again.
Yes, I just wonder if Kyron's a little tired after his efforts in the previous group. He's a different sort of player. I think the very quicker players don't exert themselves mentally quite as much, and therefore can be a little bit fresher, although I was very impressed with John Higgins. It took him 3 attempts to finally qualify just before the Masters began, and I thought he probably played too many matches and could have been very tired, but not a bit of it.
Ali Carter still 2-1 up next door against Barry Hawkins, and with a chance to win 3-1. We'll let you know how he gets on. Yeah, terrific group. Quite a few Championship League stalwarts: Carter, Hawkins, Williams, Selby, Perry, of course Ronnie O'Sullivan coming in, Kyron Wilson returning again. He's played a lot of snooker in the Championship League already, of course, this year. Came in Group 2, this is now Group 5, so his 4th group in a row. O'Sullivan played in the Championship League when it returned post-lockdown in the summer. That was a 64-player tournament. In terms of this traditional format, 25-player tournament, he hasn't played in it since 2016, when it was last at Crondon Park in Essex, close to where he lives. So good to see him back in it. I guess it's like everyone, he's trying to get some match play, try and keep himself sharp. It's not that long till he starts the defence of his world title, just 2 months. Of course, it was Kyron Wilson he beat in the final last August, the event having been pushed back in the year because of the pandemic. Been in a couple of finals this season. Lost to Trump in the Northern Ireland Open, lost to Selby in the Scottish Open. Of course, Wilson won the last staging of the Championship League back in October. That was a world ranking event for 128 players. I can tell you Ali Carter needs the last black to beat Barry Hawkins 3-1. He needs the rest for it. And he's knocked it in. So Ali Carter beats Barry Hawkins 3-1. Meanwhile, Wilson concerned because he's knocked a red over the pocket.
Yes, he has knocked a red over the pocket, but it won't be easy for Ronnie to get onto a colour here. I'm pretty sure he'll be playing this cushion first. That will create a bit of angle for the cue ball to go somewhere. Oh, this is very nice. Ronnie didn't intend to cannon the black. The only problem is he's very straight on this, it appears, and he's hampered by the pack of reds. So it might not be quite as nice as I first thought. Ronnie may even have to play for the red that's next to the black here, which is the more difficult of the three along the top cushion. This will be a test.
8. No.
He started the day with a century, of course, although Ali Carter's since had a 1-4-1, so that's the high break so far. Got a target for the £500 prize. Well, this could have finished better, I think.
60.
Yes, the red to the right corner is a bit of a cutback, but I suppose you could say when you go into the pack of reds, quite often you don't finish on anything, but at least you spread the reds nicer here, Ronnie, so just needs that one good little cut back and positional shot to colour and be back in business.
Yeah, he seems very relaxed. I heard what you were saying with Phil, and I think you're absolutely right. It's as close to a sort of practice session as you're going to get putting the waistcoat on, if you like. It's not a tournament that's full of external pressures with media and television wanting a piece of you and indeed an audience. So it's all business, really. Turn up to play and have a good 2 days here, try and get himself into the winners group in early April.
So many possible reds here for Ronnie O'Sullivan. The red he'd love to get rid of is the one to the left of the black block in the pocket. A couple of sets of reds just below the pink there that
28.
look close to being a plant to the left corner. Ronnie's already looked at them. He's having another look at the bottom of reds here.
She's trying to look at a plant here in the cluster, but maybe not convinced by it.
$29.
Cue ball rather skidded off the side cushion. Ronnie was expecting a quicker bounce there, which is the reason the cue ball's finished so close to this side cushion and with the right angle. So it's red to test for Ronnie.
$35.
Dealt with it well.
Well, now he's got everything open, so good chance here to win this opening frame. Yes, 2 months till the World Championship, where he will be attempting to equal Stephen Hendry's modern-day record of 7 world titles. He's the only person who knows when he'll be playing. He'll be playing that opening Saturday morning and Saturday night, because that's the tradition for the defending champs. And as I say, I think he's looking to stay sharp. He's maybe just lost a little bit of pace compared to the likes of Trump and Selby and Robertson, who've been winning titles. Sullivan, as I say, been in a couple of finals. Lost that terrific quarter-final at the Masters to John Higgins.
$55. $56.
Ping to lead by 62 with 75 on. So that red that went over the corner, Wilson playing the safety, looks like the key moment in the frame.
63. $68.
Chance here for Ronnie to begin his second match with a century the way he began his first match.
69.
This won't be quite so straightforward with a couple of awkward reds.
$74. 75. 82. 83.
Well, he's looking in
90.
a very determined mood here this morning, or this afternoon I should say. Now then,
90.
this last red of course key to the century.
$98.
Brilliantly done.
99.
So, as he did in his first match today, he starts his second with a century.
$102.
Ooh, the yellow just
Ronnie
stays out, but 102, Ronnie O'Sullivan's
O'Sullivan.
second century, 102 from it.
Such a common occurrence for the black to be tied up from the player's break-off shot. Don't mind so much when you're 1-0 up or 2-1 ahead or wherever in a match. When you're a frame or two behind, you hate it because you need to score, you need to make a break to win a frame, and it makes things awkward when the black's tied up.
These two have played since that World Final last August, most notably in the World Grand Prix just before Christmas, where Kyron Wilson was in charge. He led 3-1. He played one shot that I'm sure he wouldn't want to be reminded of in the 6th frame when he was looking good to lead 4-2, when he went in off the pink in just rather strange circumstances. It was a real head scratcher, and inevitably the balls don't forgive you came into play, and he lost 5-3. He beat O'Sullivan though in the Welsh Open semi-finals last year, and that was a significant result because it basically cost O'Sullivan a place in the Players' Championship. He didn't have the best season really until the Crucible, where everything was put right because he won the World Championship, which is the biggest tournament in the game by far. He made more of an effort, I think, this season to play in as much as possible. Obviously it's all so far been here in this venue, so there's been much less travelling than you'd normally expect. Next week the Welsh Open will be in Wales. Hopefully all the players will remember that and not come here out of habit.
Yes, I might just send a text to Neil Robertson twice. because of the red that's near the brown. It's a little risky to play a safety shot into bolt because you could easily leave that red on one of the centre pockets. But if Ronnie could play thin off the leftmost red and leave the cue ball near the jaws of the yellow pocket, that could be very handy. Problem is, you must be careful not to go in off. Didn't take the risk of leaving the cue ball near the pocket, but he may well have left this red on. Would have hoped that the red next to the blue would have blocked this one that could be onto the left corner. I don't know whether it has or whether Ronnie can just see enough of it to pot it. Maybe the red itself that's next to the blue will pot, but it's very risky to leave Ronnie these mid-range reds. He doesn't miss many of them.
What?
He was sort of watching the cue ball here, imploring it to just bounce off this top cushion. Could have just done with bouncing a little bit more.
He really does time the ball beautifully, Ronnie. You can almost feel the strike of the cue ball. It's just so fluid. They'd be pretty happy with the position that he's left. Mid-range red, it's very straight, but nothing to do with the cue ball. He'd be on black or pink after this.
No.
Yeah, he's looking sharp. He hasn't had a competitive match since that defeat to Higgins in the Masters last month. Didn't enter the German Masters, didn't enter the shootout. But he did say, didn't he, over Christmas and into the new year, he'd been practicing 6 hours a day. Prior to that, he didn't seem to put in the hours in, but stung by a couple of defeats, I think, in the early part of the season, he decided it was back to work. He does this when the referee has to get the pink into position. He just goes and sits down. I think as a naturally fast player, he doesn't want to be stood at the table sort of getting impatient, so he just sits down, lets the referee do his thing, and then he'll be back
15.
to continue.
$60.
Again, that was a beautifully struck shot. Got such a lot of reaction out the cue ball there with apparently very little effort. Once again here, frame number 2, Ronnie looking very, very dangerous. He's just overscrewed that one, however.
30.
Well, recovered the situation well.
Well, since that he's low on this red, he may well just edge off the pack here and just bring a couple more into play. Oh, Oh, but he's come the red on the side cushion, so that's no good for Ronnie.
38.
Now, can he drop the blue in, cannon the green, and be on the red to left centre possibly?
Round ball. Ronnie O'Sullivan. 38.
Well, there's discipline for you, and there's respect for Kyron Wilson as well, not trying to push the boat out with anything, just playing the safety. Leads by 38.
Just looking at the red, the pink, and the two reds just next to it there, they look as though there's some sort of a convoluted four-ball plant to the left corner. You wouldn't really take that on unless you had no safety shot available to you, but it's worth knowing that it's potentially there.
Well, they don't call it the dreaded double kiss for nothing.
What?
So Ronnie O'Sullivan 38 in front as he comes to the table with a great chance now to make it 2-0. Wilson yet to pot a ball in this match.
6.
I thought Kyron Wilson played very well against Trump in that semi-final, and he was basically one shot from winning. 2-0 up with 2 centuries, 52-0 up. He's left with not a straightforward red by any means to the yellow pocket. If he goes in, he surely wins. But it didn't. Trump made the clearance.
40.
Trump won the last 2 frames, and he won the whole group.
50.
Just a touch low on the black, Ronnie. You'll have to probably play a cannon into a red here. Perfectly okay. Yeah, and just a couple more reds and colours away
20.
now from securing a 2-0 lead and preventing Kyron Wilson
23.
potting his first ball in this match.
$28. 29. $34.
So it's going to be, in terms of frames, played 5-1-5 today for O'Sullivan.
35.
Looking in a mean mood here, isn't he? And he's played a very good frame when he wasn't nicely on a ball. Initially on 38, he played safe off the brown. The double kiss from Wilson, then immediately let him back in.
50. 51. 56. 57.
Well, it looks like he's the man who's played 4 groups so far and is
62.
absolutely match fit. He's playing some good stuff, isn't he? As he comes into
64.
this group for the first time this year.
$67.
Yeah, I don't know what footwear referee Rob Spencer's employed for this match, but I suggest a pair of roller skates.
70.
Don't give him any ideas. He's featured on a few blooper reels, hasn't he? Nearly took the whole set down at the German Masters.
76.
So 2 visits. I've done the trick here.
5. Yeah, sure. Karen Wilson 6. Ronnie O'Sullivan 76 on the frame.
Well, a terrific.
Well, that's a better break than it may have at first appear, because Kyron is snookered on all reds, as you can see. Normally you've got an easy shot just to roll up into the pack of reds, but not so here, because if Kyron were to roll into the pack of reds, he could easily leave one of the loose reds left and right of it. He's got to get this right. He mustn't skid off the pack of reds here. Oh, is this going to hit the pink? Oh, I think it is. Has he left the red
5
on?
and a miss.
I think
Ronnie
he
O'Sullivan
has.
6. One.
Well, the danger for Wilson is it's a case of here we go again.
Well, if this shot goes right for Ronnie O'Sullivan,
8.
I'll be surprised if Kyron gets to play another shot in this match, because these reds, in the course of playing this one, will be spread far and wide. Oh, but he's missed the red. He's missed the red. Now, first chance for Kyron Wilson. What can he do with it?
Ronnie
No
O'Sullivan,
reason at all.
8.
I can't win the frame from this and get back into the match.
But he will feel he'll have to do that, such as the level that O'Sullivan's playing at. He will feel, okay, this is my chance now. And all he has to do is think back to last night when he played Trump, when he was 2-0 up, outplaying Trump, and ended up losing 3-2. They're short matches, they can turn round. Sometimes on one shot, that match did, maybe this one will.
Seven. Eight.
Kyron just having a look to see if the red that's to the right of the black will pot into the corner pocket, because of course it's blocking the black a little for him, and it'd be handy to get that red out of the way and free the black up.
Well, this is his 4th group. He's made 13 centuries in the Championship League this year. So Kyron Wilson, when he's had the chance,
40.
has scored heavily. And that's what he'll be looking to do again. He had 5 centuries in the last group.
50. $20. 22.
Well, if that red that's next to the black does pot into the right hand corner, Kyron can get onto it nicely here with the angle that he has on the pink. If not, he could play for the red that's below that into the right corner and stun into the red that's next to the black and knock it out of the way. So two options here for Kyron. Which one do we decide to go with?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good at all. He's very straight on this red, and continuing the break from here won't be easy. Suggesting he had a kick there because he's asked referee Rob Spencer to clean the cue ball. He may have to try and play for the pink in the right centre here, Kyron. He might not be able to get perfectly on it. Just be off straight on the high side, so he may be able to play for the pink in the left centre, but either way, what to do? Doesn't want to cannon the red, he avoided it, so it's okay, he's played that really well.
Just to say, Mark Williams, I mentioned he was 1-0 up. He actually made a century, 105 against Mark Selby, so that's career century number 500 for Mark Williams. But we were saying yesterday, so many times back in the 90s and 2000s, when he had chances for centuries, he basically just couldn't be bothered with it and would sort of deliberately not make them. So in a way, his figure is a false one. 500 is fantastic, it's a great figure, but I think Mark would accept himself he could have a lot more if he'd been more interested in making them when he was younger.
35. $36.
Also, we make a lot of fuss about centuries, but it's really frame winning breaks that are crucial. If you make a 95, that'll win you a frame. So we sort of get maybe a bit carried away with the tons, but it's about killing frames off like this. Even if this isn't a century, he wants to win the frame at this visit.
42.
He's done a lot of the hard work here, Kyron, but there are only a couple of obvious loose reds left to play for. He's still convinced that this red next to the black will pop. If he's not on it, it will be end of break.
47.
Does appear to pop there, doesn't it? We'll probably play for the black in the same pocket here. He's played for the opposite pocket. No problem at all, except he could have done with travelling just a couple of inches further there. Can he still dig down into the cube and get into that little quartet of reds?
By the way, Selby's answered the Williams century, one of his own, so already just a feast of big breaks today. I think that's the 5th century today.
$55.
Well, if he takes the red onto the left corner, very close to it with the cue ball. I think the red to play is this one into the right centre. He should easily be able to avoid the bulk colours. Played that back down for green, brown or blue.
$56.
So break goes to 56, 42 points lead. Still needs a couple more reds to secure his first frame of this match.
Well, Karen Wilson 56, Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Well, what a mistake to make. Just trying to inject that extra bit of pace into the green has caused him to miss it. Look what happens here, he nearly flukes the green, but the green has cut a red into the left corner. Left corner as we look, it's actually the right corner.
Well,
Of course, he'd left Ronnie this opportunity, and Ronnie has a good angle here on the black to bring that tricky red into play, and if this shot goes right, could easily win the match from here. He's chosen not to play the cannon just yet. I'm a little surprised. He had a lovely angle there on the black.
8.
Well, Wilson didn't pot a ball first 2 frames, but had a good chance there. It's gone wrong. Will he get another?
No.
Going to be about, I guess, as Dom says, that last red.
$60. $70.
Played for the green and he's on it nicely. Well, I think Ronnie's made the decision not to actually develop the red, but to drop him behind it.
$20.
It's not dissimilar to the red he potted to the green pocket in the last frame. Century. This time he's getting the rest out though.
Yeah, the only good thing about playing these shots with the rest, you tend to strike the ball really well. You go right through the shot, and that's what you need to do when you're playing a shot like this.
$20.
It's in his hands then to complete a second whitewash of the day. He's already beaten Joe Perry 3-0. O'Sullivan looking to make the perfect start here. Just flick the brown, but still a chance at the yellow to the middle.
Yeah, he's been really fortunate there. He's landed beautifully on this yellow, just to stroke it in gently. If he cues this straight, shouldn't be a problem.
$28.
Well, he can all but get his qualification sewn up today, can't he? If he can close this out, he's got 2 more matches. Ali Carter and Mark Selby, 2 old foes there later on. And if he can win those matches, then regardless of what happens tomorrow, he'll be in the playoffs. He's looking sharp and very determined here.
35.
And he's played well. Karen Wilson had a chance, missed that green on 56.
$40.
Ping for victory then, and it's another whitewash for Ronnie O'Sullivan. What a golden start